Hi everyone, meet with me again. My name is Aulia Shabrina Putri and I'm a student of Magister of English Education from Muhammadiyah University of Surakarta, Indonesia. And my student number is S40019002. Today, as a form of the exercise from Mem Yeni, I would like to present about the journal I reviewed with the title is The Use of Podcasts in Improving Students' Listening Skill and in MTS Negeri Kota Madiun. But before I deliver my presentation, I would like to give a little bit about the picture about the journal I reviewed today. Okay, as we know that the medium that can be used a teacher to teach English, it can be divided into two parts. The first part or the first kind of the medium, it can be called by traditional medium or conventional medium, as we know, like using a blackboard and using a picture, using a card, flashcard, and etc. And then the second one is about the modern medium. In the modern medium itself, the teacher has usually used the technology like computer, laptop, like internet, smartphone, application inside the smartphone, and etc. And today, the podcast itself, it can be included as a modern medium, and we hope that the use of podcasts this time it can really improving students listening skill, mainly in MTS Negeri Kota Madiun as a junior high school. The first part that I would like to present to you all about the introduction of this journal I reviewed. The first one is about listening. Listening is one of the four basic skills in which students of English should be trained, because skills training is often abandoned and students have little opportunity to practice English language listening skills, because English language is used in the non-English speaking countries. Improving students' hearing comprehension will largely depend on the effective teaching process in the classroom. Listening ability is the ability or power to relate the sound to meaning, according to Howard and Dakin as quoted by Sarikoban and on 2012, listening is the ability to identify and understand what others are saying. That's the definition of the listening itself. And we move to the podcast. Podcasts are audio, but sometimes it can the form of video programs on the web which are usually updated at regular intervals. Podcasts are a modern digital technology that can be used effectively for language teaching processes and provide learning goals to students according to Robinson 2009. The term podcast is a combination of two words. Pod, the first one is pod, mean iPod, the name of popular MP3 player, and the second one is cast. Cast is coming from the word broadcasting. And then listening as one of the English language skills is the receptive skill, which is the most common communication activity in daily life. It is an active activity that involves receiving, understanding, and perceiving a message from a conversation. In Indonesia, listening skill is rarely taught in the classroom. The fact that listening skill doesn't be done to solve this problem. So, using podcast is one of the ways to solve the problems for listening. Podcast is almost similar as regular audio or video, but the difference here is that the subscription from certain websites that offer podcast is necessary so that the new available podcast can be downloaded regularly. From the previous research by Dr. Sema Jain and Farha Hashimi on 2013 describes that English language teachers may use podcasts in the classroom, and it can affect on some aspect like as an interesting activity in which students learn communication skills, and then to teach English in simple and easy way, and then to teach students how to be an effective listeners as well as good speakers since most of the topics, and then to teach language with the help of diverse activities based on podcasts, and then to enhance competency in the use of technology, and then the last one, and as a motivational technique to keep students on task. That's the basic of introduction in this journal. And then the second one is about the method. The method using in this journal is using qualitative research method. According to patent 2001, qualitative research uses a naturalistic approach that seeks to understand phenomena in context specific settings, such as real world setting, like where the researcher also doesn't attempt to manipulate the phenomenon of interest. It means that qualitative research is the phenomena a real world setting in context to study phenomena from the object of the research. Qualitative research is the systematic inquiry into social phenomena in natural settings. These phenomena can include, but are not limited to, how people experiences aspects of their lives, how individuals and or group behave, how organization function, and how interaction shape relationships. The source of the data using of this journal gets the data from the field, and it can be divided into three fields. The first one is about social situation of the class, and then the second one is participation of the students in MTS Negeri Kota Madiun Junior High School, and then the third one is about the document. The document itself included as a RPP, syllabus, and the instrument that prepared by the writer that can handle as a teacher at that time. Okay, the next is technique of collecting data. The research consists of both qualitative data collection. Data collection is method used by the researcher to collect the data. The first one is observation. The researcher uses participant observation technique. The researcher herself observation in the teaching and learning process until finish in the classroom. And then the second one is about interview. So the researcher here doing the interview with the teacher as usual, and the delegation of some students about how is the effective using the podcast itself to teach them for improving their listening skills. And then the last one is about the documentation. The documentation is a technique of data collection when teaching and learning process has been done. Sorry. Okay. The next is about the data analysis technique. In this research, the researcher uses data condensation, data display, conclusion drawing, or verifying. According to Miles and Haberman 2014, three concurrent flows of activity like data condensation, data display, and conclusion and verification, they are explained one by one. Okay, I would like to explain it one by one. The first one is data condensation. In this research, the researcher used the data from activities in the classroom to ring in the teaching and learning process of listening skill. It's also used data from interview activities with English teacher and some students about the advantages and disadvantages of using this technique applied in the classroom. And then displaying data. Displaying data is the one of data analysis techniques. Displaying data is all of information about data which the researcher needs. It is to make conclusion and action taking. In this case, the researcher needs to display the data in order to give clear description. Consists of the first, the data from observation about the use podcast to teach listening, and then the second is the data from interview about advantages and disadvantages with English teacher to use podcast to teach listening. And then the last one, the data from documentation, is about activities in the classroom during teaching learning process to use podcast to teach listening, like RPP syllabus and etc. that I explained before. And then the last one is about formation in the or making the conclusion and verification of the data. Next step, I would like to explain about the discussion of this journal I reviewed. There are three main points that I found in this journal. The first one, I found that podcast is a medium that can be easily for now era to be found via smartphones, tablets, or computers, and can be also be easily downloaded. Absolutely. And then the second one, this research was conducted in two cycles. The cycle one is the initial action or the first action to improve students' pronunciation in speak English through the use of podcast as a learning medium. Absolutely. If we want to improve the listening skill, it's not possible to make the speaking skill that we as a students will be improved too. So it is important to make it as a agenda of this or as a goal of this journal. And then the second cycle is more or less the same as the first cycle in its application. In this cycle, researchers provide different topics at each meeting so that the listening skill and speaking skill here can improve together, can be more improve together for the students. Okay, and then for the result of this journal is after doing research for two cycles that I explained before, or maybe it needs around 3 months. Yeah, there are several research findings that can be drawn. The results showed some positive results regarding the problems that arose in the previous pre-observation. Some of the positive results obtained are as follows. The first, students' pronunciation in English has improved significantly. Some of the vocabulary words in English that were always mispronounced before, after post test 2, it almost doesn't happen again. So it can drilling the pronunciation skill in students itself, and the what is it, the reminder of the vocabulary skill itself. The second one, students who were previously unfamiliar with discussion are now more accustomed to expressing their ideas or opinions in front of other people. So here the students is really more confident and not shy to express about they they're talking in English. Absolutely. And then the third, students also look more confident when they have to speak English because they are able to use the correct pronunciation. Absolutely. If they know the correct pronunciation from the teaching and learning process using podcast in listening skill and speaking skill, so here students look more confident to show up their skill in English, mainly in speaking. On the other hand, because they often listen to podcasts, the students' listening ability is also getting better. Yeah, as much as you use this podcast medium as your medium for improving your listening skill, then your listening ability is also getting more better. That's absolutely. And that's the result of this journal. Okay, from all the presentation that I delivered above, it can be concluded that students' pronunciation in English experience significant improvement. Some of the vocabulary words in English were also pronounced incorrectly, but after doing post test, the second post test or post test 2, this almost never happened again. The second, students who were not previously used to discussion now become more accustomed to expressing their ideas or opinions in front of other people. And then the third, students also appear to be more confident when they have to speak English because they are already able to use correct pronunciation. And the utilization of podcasts or the using of podcasts also improves students' listening skills because they listen to podcasts often. Students' listening skill are also getting better. So the key is as much as you use or as often as you use the podcast for the medium to improve your English skill, mainly for listening and speaking skill, then your those skills are also getting better at that time by time. Okay. Okay, sorry. Maybe that's all for my presentation. And if I have some mistakes to deliver about the presentation, I do apologize. And thank you, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Goodbye.